September 28th, Jennifer Gladhill called police to report her husband, Matthew Johnson, missing.
The disappearance of Matthew Johnson, a Utah father and husband, and the arrest of his wealthy wife, Jennifer Gladhill, for first-degree murder.
The phone call was recorded at 11:47 p.m. and what Jennifer said next would seal her fate forever. Jenny in our home before and breaking bread with them. And then it turned out that she is responsible for his death. It was shocking, frankly. Hello everyone. Today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. Jennifer and Matthew seems have it all, living in their $1 million home in Countdown Heights. They appeared to be perfect family, a devoted military husband and a caring mother, raising their 3 children, 11, 7 and 5. Matthew was 51, was a respected member of the Utah National Guard's 90th Special Force Group, a Green Beret who has served his country with honor for over a decade. His fellow soldiers described him as a brilliant, reliable and someone you could always count on for answers. Jennifer, 42 years old, was seen as a devoted mother and supportively military wife, who many of Matthew's friends described as a nice kind of homebody. The family lived quietly in their upscale neighborhood and to the outside world. Everything seemed normal, but beneath the surface of seemingly perfect marriage, cracks had begun to form months earlier. The couple had been considering divorce since July 2024. The court documents revealed a highly dysfunctionalized relationship that had been deteriorating for some time. In August 2024, Jennifer filed a temporary protective order against Matthew, claiming she needed protection from her husband. However, when the case went before the court, the judge made a decision that would prove to be fatally significant. 3rd District Commissioner Russell examined the evidence Jennifer presented and found the videos she submitted actually showed her as an unfair and equally confrontational toward him. The commissioner noted the text message from Jennifer to Matthew were repeatedly belittling and demeaning, if not outright attempting to goad him into a violent response. On September 16, 2024, just days before the tragedy that would shatter their family forever, Commissioner Russell dismissed the protective order, ruling that no abuse had occurred. He wrote something that now seems hauntingly prophetic. The conduct of the parties over the past several months is representative of a highly dysfunctional marriage, bringing out the worst in the parties, clearly suggestive that an action for divorce should have been filed long before reaching the current state of affairs. What the commissioner didn't know was that Jennifer had already made a decision that would ensure divorce proceedings would never be necessary. In the week leading up to September 2024, Matthew's behavior began to change dramatically. According to his friends, Jennifer's erratic behavior had become so disturbing. Matthew spent much of final weeks of his life sleeping at National Guard facility out of concern about his safety. In one of his last conversations with his longtime friend, retired Utah National Guardsman Kevin Thompson, Matthew had already come to the conclusion that a divorce needs to happen and it seems to move on. But Matthew never got the chance to move on. What Matthew didn't fully realize was Jennifer had been living a double life. She was having an affair with another man, someone who would later become the key to unraveling the entire case. This wasn't just a casual fling. It was an intense relationship that consumed Jennifer's thought and emotion. On September 19, 2024, just 2 days before the murder, Jennifer showed her lover something that should have been a warning sign. She displayed a loaded gun to him, a Glock 90X, that she kept in their home. At the time, he is probably thought nothing of it. After all, many military families owned firearms, but prosecutor would later reveal that Jennifer had been calculating and methodical in her planning. She had arranged for their 3 children to stay at her parents' house the night she planned to kill their father. The stage was being set for a confrontation that would end in tragedy. September 20th, 2024 started like any other day, but by evening, the fragile face of the Johnson marriage would finally crumble. Matthew had discovered the truth about his wife's affair, and witnesses would later report hearing a heated argument between the couple that night. According to Jennifer's confusion, Matthew confronted her, yelling at her because he knew she had been sleeping with someone else. The argument was intense, with years of marital problems finally exploding into the open. But what happened next would haunt everyone who learned about it. In the early hours of September 21, 2024, as Matthew laying sleeping in their master bedroom, completely vulnerable and unaware of the danger he was in, Jennifer made a decision that would destroy multiple families forever. She took his own 9mm handgun and shot her husband in the head while he slept. According to her own confession, she then put Matthew's body into a rooftop storage container, the stairs of their home, before loading into the back of their minivan. She smashed his phone and drove his truck to a nearby neighborhood, abandoning it blocks from their home. Then, in what can only be described as a methodical cover-up, Jennifer drove north with her husband's body and buried him in a shallow grave at a location that remains unknown to this day. When she returned home, she began an extensive cleanup operation. She bleached the walls, used carpet cleaning supplies throughout the master bedroom, and ordered a new mattress to replace the blooded sock on where Matthews had been killed. The mattress arrived just 2 days later, but Jennifer's most critical mistake was yet to come. On September 22, just before midnight, Jennifer showed up at her lover's home and made a confession that would ultimately lead her to arrest. She told him everything: how she had killed Matthew, how she had disposed of his body, and how she had been cleaning up the crime scene. The man noticed something on Jennifer's body during their conversation, and when he asked about them, she casually explained that she had gotten them while burying her husband and cleaning the house of evidence. Her lover was terrified by what he had heard. This woman, he thought he knew, had just confused to cold-blooded murder with an almost casual demeanor. The truth was about to come out, and it was worse than anyone imagined. Jennifer's lover was so disturbing by her confession that he decided to record their next phone conversation. When he told Jennifer that he was frightened by what she had told him, her response was chilling and would become one of the most haunting pieces of evidence in the case. "Wow, if you think I could even hurt a fly?" she said this. Like he is not a person. He wasn't a person anymore. He wasn't mad. The cold detachment in her voice was unmistakable. She had dehumanized her husband so completely that his death means nothing to her. But Jennifer's disturbing revelations didn't stop here. Where her lover asked if she would be afraid if the situation were reversed, Jennifer replied, "Not if I deserved it. I always preached that I was like the Queen of Hearts in my past lives because I am like off with their hands. I am like, if we could just round up the scum of this earth and put them on an island or just kill them all, I could shape this country back to a good place." Jennifer also asked her lover not to think of her as a monster and to remember who she was before. she opened her mouth, and to remember who she was before she opened her mouth. The irony was not lost. She was asking for understanding after confessing to murdering the father of her children in cold blood. What made this conversation even more significant was that it took place before Matthew was officially reported missing. Jennifer was already referring her husband in the past tense, even though no one else knew he was dead. 6 days after her confession to her lover, Jennifer finally reported Matthew missing to the police. She told them that Matthew had said he would be gone for a week and told her not to call him. Meanwhile, the Utah National Guard had already begun searching for Matthew when he failed to report for duty on September 23rd. But unbeknownst to Jennifer, her lover had been collecting evidences against her. He had taken a screenshot of their text message and recorded their phone conversations. On October 2nd, 2024, he finally contacted police with information that would crack the case wide open. What happened next would shock even the most seasoned investigators. When Cottonwood Heights police executed a search warrant on the Johnson home on September 28th, they discovered a scene that told a very different story than the one Jennifer had been telling. In the master bedroom, investigators found a large blood-stained spot on the carpet under the bed. Blood was also found on the bed frame slates, which corroborated exactly what Jennifer had told her lover. There were reddish-brown spots on the walls, bed frames and blinds. Most tellingly, the mattress in the bedroom was brand new. 4 records would later show that Jennifer had ordered it on September 24th, just 3 days after the murder, and it had been delivered 2 days later. During the investigation, police discovered GPS data from Jennifer's phone, showing her movement on September 21st and 22nd. The data showed her traveling to the location where Matthew's truck was found at around 6 a.m. and later tracking her journey north toward Davis County, exactly where she claimed to have buried his body. On October 2nd, 2024, armed with the recorded confessions and physical evidences, police arrested Jennifer on charge of first-degree murder and obstruction of justice, but the investigation was far from over. On October 24th, 2024, Jennifer's parents, Thomas 71 years old and Rosalia 67 years old, were also arrested and charged with 4 counts of obstruction of justice. Police discovered that the couple had spent over 5 hours at Jennifer's house in late September, despite initially claiming they were only there for less than an hour to pick up clothings. Investigators found that Rosalia had purchased the new mattress and had her phone remotely reset, losing all data about her whereabouts during the cleanup period. When police questioned Thomas about the master bedroom and alleged cleanup, he told them, "I did not go in where the incident happened," inadvertently revealing knowledge of a crime scene. During a search of the parents' home, a Glock 90X gun boxed wrapped in a child's swan box inside a plastic tote near Jennifer's bedroom. The container matched the description of the gun Jennifer had shown to her lover on September 90. The family had tried to cover up the perfect murder, but their web of lies was quickly unraveling. Months have passed since Jennifer's arrest, but Matthew's body remains missing. Extensive search efforts have covered multiple counties, extended from Davis and Weber counties all the way Box Elder County near the Utah-Idaho border. Over 70 searchers have participated in the ongoing effort to find Matthew, including law enforcement, volunteers, and Matthew's own military friends, who have organized their own search parties. As his friend Kevin Thompson said, the fact that the search is now in its 5th month keeps them at night. John Hash, Matthew's fellow Greenbelt, who served with him 12 years, has been frustrated by the ongoing search efforts. He said, having had Jenny in our home before, you know that, breaking bread with them, it turned out she is responsible for his death. It was shocking, frankly. During recent court hearings, prosecutor revealed that a vehicle storage container had been found floating in the air, and it contained John's blood inside. This discovery provided additional physical evidence linking Jennifer to the crime. But Matthew's body still hasn't been recovered. The search continues to expand across northern Utah as investigators follow every lead, hoping to finally bring Matthew home to his family. They were about to discover a secret Jennifer had hoped would never see the light of the day. Jennifer has pleaded not guilty to all charges against her. She faces 1 count of first-degree murder, 5 counts of obstruction of justice, 1 count of possession of controlled substance, 1 count of abuse or desecration of a human body, and 1 count of tampering the witnesses. During her bail hearing, prosecutor argued that Jennifer posed a significant danger to the community and to the integrity of the investigation. They revealed that she had told her lover she wouldn't shoot herself before going to the jail, demonstrating both her desperation and potential for further violence. The judge sided with prosecutors and denied Jennifer's request for bail, noting that she posed a risk to the community. She remains in custody at the Salt Lake County Jail, adding another layer of complexity to the case. Is the question of Matthew's $500,000 credential life insurance policy, with Jennifer facing murder charges and Matthew's body still missing. Credential has asked the court to determine who should receive the money. Jennifer's trial is scheduled to begin on December 8, 2025 and expected to last 8 days. Perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of this case is the 3 children who have lost both parents, 1 to murder and 1 to prison. Matthew Johnson's family has released a statement through their victim representative, saying that we are hopeful that we will find Matthew soon, or that Jennifer or someone will come forward with the location of his body, so we can properly lay him to rest. The prosecution theory is straightforward but chilling. Jennifer killed her husband because he discovered her affair, and she wanted to be free to pursue her relationship with her lover, rather than go through a messy divorce that may have resulted in shared custody and financial obligation. She chose murder. As we await Jennifer's trial in December 2025, one question haunts everyone involved in this case. How does a mother of 3 justify destroying so many lives for the sake of an affair? Perhaps we will never fully understand the depths of Jennifer's selfishness. What we don't know is that her actions have created wounds that will never fully heal. Justice may eventually be served. Matthew Johnson will never come home to his children, and somewhere in northern Utah, a devoted father and soldier lies in an unmarked grave, waiting for someone to finally tell the truth about where he can be found.